broken home. I've seen so many people go. Learn to make it on my own. It's easier for me to be alone. So how are you? Keep cutting through, claiming a night like the other guys. And only if I could give you a chance, show me that you mean it, we'll feel some type of way. Something must be wrong with me. Keep wanting just to see you show up at my door. Et même quand je suis froide, un peu indifférent, tu continues tout de même de montrer tes efforts. I'm trying to keep my heart in peace. I just can't think about the way that I feel. It's too hard to trust, I mess it up. I just can't reach to be falling like this. Oh, ooh, why do you keep chasing clouds? Ooh, if I could change my mind. you feel like you're losing track. I know your heart bleeds. Don't lose your mind. Just let it be, let it be. Know you're dying inside. I know it gets harder. Days get longer. But close your eyes.
Welcome to tonight's broadcast from the NACE Star League studio, and tonight we've got an exciting doubleheader of Overwatch matches for you tonight. We're going to start out with Creighton University going up against George Fox. My name is Jacob Palmer, and helping me to kick off the spring 2024 season, I've got Doc Haskell, head coach Boise State Esports. Yeah, it's great to see you, and it's going to be great to see these matches because we're going to see a lot of Division I schools, which is very fitting considering what NACE is debuting this season.
Yeah, so they started it in the fall season, an opt-in conference for Division I schools. There were 9 involved in the first season in a handful of games. And this semester, they've added what they call the Super Conference. So they had to finish in the top 2 of their conference to be able to go in it. Some of the schools selected to play some of their games in that. Most notably, Southern Miss in Rocket League has decided to play their Rocket League season in the Super Conference, which includes Fisher and Maryville, and you can imagine some of the sluggers in there. And the others have selected to stay in what we would call the Division I conference. And by the way, I've got the night off because we've got a bye in Overwatch this week.
Yeah.
But the idea is to be able to play schools that have regional and certainly, I guess, football, basketball related significance, right? So for Boise State, a D1 school, playing Kansas, playing Mizzou, playing Southern Miss, playing Oakland, you know, that's a big deal. These 2 schools right here are just foes. You know, that would be, of course, University of Missouri, St. Louis, and, of course, George Fox.
Well, I think you're actually, teasing what we have lined up for tonight. We're going to be starting off with Creighton going up against George Fox and then Kansas versus UMSL. So should be a very fun night lined up. And I agree with you, Doc. It's great to see all these kind of big names that we know from traditional esports facing off. Old rivalries reignited on a new digital battlefield, if you will.
Yes, and the favorite game of what the heck is their name as filtered through this crazy font, which, you know what, we're just going to dive in and enjoy it. So Creighton is Busty Bean, Leonard, or just Leonard, right? Youngest Coaster, Burst 88, I can't even, Luxon. Man, this is going to end up on the blooper reel, isn't it?
Probably. George Fox, see if I can do any better. Well, I'm just going to say Fump, because that's kind of in the middle there. We've got Hookit, Odysseus, Chibanan, and Sea Warrior for George Fox.
Yep, and I think that at the very top, the GFU is just meant to run it together. MPB.
Yeah, MPB. That's it. MPB.
Yep. So, and we'll see them when we get in game and see exactly what it is. Well, here's what's crazy, is that there's been a ton of criticism thus far about, from some schools, and no, care in the world from others about this idea of a Division I conference. But the truth is, all schools should be able to play who is most meaningful to them, because we're all trying to build this up as we go, right? We want the best possible opponents that mean the most to our school, so that we can generate interest around esports. Some say, well, no, we want to play against the big schools too. Well, you get a chance to. It's called the playoffs. Right. It's called the championships. I mean, so Maryville and Boise State are going to collide, definitely. But the regular season can be about schools that we don't normally run into, say, in the ABC bracket or some of those other, types of things. But this will be cool.
It sure is. And let's talk a little bit about Overwatch and what is awaiting us, because over the holiday season and the past season, there's kind of been a huge elephant in the room as far as tanks have been concerned. Has been nerfed multiple times, though. I'm talking about the new one, Maga. Do you think we're going to be seeing him tonight, even with all the nerfs?
I do. As people are becoming comfortable playing him, he's a crazy, wonderful rush hero, right? If you are gathered around him, his E will just, give everybody that crit, damage right back. Think of it as lifesteal. It's not really lifesteal, but that's what I think of it as. And as long as they're together. But if you've got people trying to play some kind of poke comp, that ability doesn't do anything. The question is, what can the ability you bring to the comp do for your teammates, not just you? Right.
And I've also heard that it's an interesting scenario when you get the mirror matchup in terms of the tanks, because then it kind of becomes a cooldown dance. You're trying to map up, has he already used his cooldowns? Is he vulnerable now?
Yeah.
And that's where a team's really going to be rewarded if they're tracking that stuff.
Yeah, if you are in a cooldown dance and you've got one player who can get angles and get picks, in the 6-player game it was an impact to go +1. +2, you were 80% to win the fight most of the time. But in the 5-player game, if you can get an elim on a support player, if you sustain for another 3 seconds, you're going to win that fight. You're just going to win that fight, right? Down 1, the other team will eventually fold. They don't have enough resources to put into it.
Well, as we're ready to get back to the overall match, we're going to be seeing all of the main stages that we have gotten used to over, it seems so long ago already, but Flashpoint was introduced just in the last season. I remember that being a new matchup. Now it feels like it's been in the game forever. Yeah,
and what's fun about it is when you scrim against other schools, right, the scrim codes allow you to play every side of a control map, right? You can win 2 and you still play the 3rd because that's the way the scrim codes are. And in the Flashpoint ones, you play all 5 points in it. And what the best teams do is they know the spawns inside and out. Win or lose, I mean, they know where everybody's going to go. The game does a decent job of telling you where they are, but the pathing in between those can mean the difference in winning the first fight on the next point.
And as we're ready to head into the first match, remember the overall order of each of the stages changes, but because it used to be, everyone is used to the Overwatch standard of control, hybrid, escort, but then it changed once Flashpoint came in, going an escort getting pushed all the way to the back. But we always start out on control.
Which is fine, right? And the hybrid, I mean, the joke was for years, assigned control, King's Row. No one ever chose anything else unless it was. It'll be interesting to see if they actually do bring out the bans in this. They're not going to do it in 9 or start of 9, but I bet you that they'll trial it just like they did in the Sombra Quick Play Hacked event. I'll expect that they'll do something like that with the map bans in competitive, some kind of little hack test.
Well, and also, if you remember in the previous season, the fall season, which we covered for NACE Star League, we kind of saw the emergence of King's Row 2.0 as Eichenwald kind of replaced King's Row as the favorite of a lot of teams.
Yeah, it's a really good one, and everybody feels pretty confident on it. Again, it's not really a resurgence because SIG was always strong on that point. But Mauga definitely, Mauga wasn't being played in the end of that season, but Mauga definitely has made that one a lot more fun because he can just, that rugby rush, he can just bully into people. That was always the point, getting past that one singular, really painful choke. And if you do that and Mauga can let you do that, then it just unlocks it for you. So I like that one, and I'm such a big Mei fan. Mei is still strong, always strong, never gets weak.
Never gets weak.
No, anytime you can put a wall in between you and the person who's trying to kill you, or put a wall behind the person you need to eliminate, that's a good thing.
Hey, Mei
crowd
is
control,
Bae, according to a large portion of the fan community.
Oh, Mei is Bae.
Mei is Bae.
Absolutely.
Don't ever let her down. She won't let you down.
Nope, she will not.
And we're going to be starting out on Lijian Tower as our first stage, a familiar sight.
Let's go.
In the Overwatch sphere.
And let me tell you, I love this, but now with the different maps, the different daylight versions of these maps. Night Market is no longer Night Market all the time. It can be just Market.
Yep.
Right? It'll be a little bit crazy. See if we get it in here. Yeah, just absolutely love this variation of the map. I love the glow. I'm a big fan of the night maps.
The night theme is just so atmospheric. It's hard to think of it in any other terms.
It's moody. I love Midtown in the same way. So much fun when it's the dark version. These are really, really fun. I would love to see them do a real dark blackout version, which they can do, just to make them even spookier, right? Change that draw distance. Maybe they'll do that for Halloween.
Yeah, maybe a Halloween
event.
Yeah.
But so this will be fantastic. I'm excited for us to dig in and see what we get. So George Fox, really strong group. They were coached for the last year and a half by a colleague and friend of ours, Artie Rain. Did a great job. They have a new coach this year. Be very interesting to see what kind of strategies they want to bring out, what types of comps they want to run. If they're going to come out and play just pure, kind of chalk, or if they're going to try some tricky stuff. Even 5v5, you can do some fun, silly comps still and get away with them.
Certainly some silly routes to take out here as well. Seen a lot of players take into account these ledges, which Control Center is normally so enclosed. You don't think you might be as vulnerable to a boop as, say, you are on Gardens, but sneaky players are going to find a way, especially sometimes Lucio's around these corners are just going to catch players who are just unaware of every possible flank route off guard.
Yeah. The Mauga can be great here, especially if he's well supported. There's enough little walls and posts you can dip behind to take some of the damage off for a second. His chain gun reduction in ammo makes it so that he does that a lot more. It used to be, at the very beginning, that wasn't as much of a deal, but now it is. So we'll see if you got to split that, and when you press both at the same time and do incendiary and volatile at the same time in that chain gun, it's just going to run out a lot faster than it did when it was still 300.
And here we go. We
All
are
right.
going to be seeing the full range of time options available. Let's go head on into a Night Market for our first stage. And Creighton University looking like they're going to start out with kind of the traditional sim teleport race, whereas George Fox is changing things up a bit.
Okay, I like the Ramatra and May here as a way of doing it. Well, maybe they'll match and try to go with it as well. But that Ram rundown, if they can keep Ram up, really, really good. That'll be the job of Warrior on the George Fox side to be able to do that, just to make sure that you're communicating with your Ram and your Ram doesn't get crashed out early. Creighton going to just get out there. Arissa rush. Are they going to go top here, or are they going to fake it? No, they're going to go, and they all pour on, and they win this fight. Get out there a little bit earlier. She's going to get to the back of the point, and they get Arissa right away. That's Orpheus is going to knock him out and gets that punch going, and is going to chase them all down. Can they close this out? He's getting a little bit lower, but he's got his slow, and that's it.
Soldier is going to be the only one who can get away from that fight alive. George Fox now starting timer up in their favor, and here we see the classic May waiting game. Going to wait to see who walks through the wall first. If the team isn't coordinated well enough, then that tank is. You thought that Arissa was picked off early in the first hit match. She walks past here. It's going to be another.
Yep, and I think she's aware of the May there. Gets out there. Yep, and gets the May wall out. Still in Omnic form here, has the opportunity to go to Nemesis, sees that spin, stays out just a little bit longer. This is Hookbait trying to just create that opportunity, getting flanked. They're going to fall back to point here. This is real nice. Again, they're trying to get that Arissa. If you can get a spear onto somebody, that'll be real good there. Go to the other side. Busty Bean's going to lob in there. Gets that elimination with the help of Wicked Savage onto Warrior. Keep launching in there. He's really close to his ult. In fact, a number of ults are about to come online. He drops it, gets it in there, doesn't find anybody, chasing around, gets the May, who doesn't have cryo. to stay alive, and they're going to take this point. But that's 55% to the side of George Fox.
About one team fight one. George Fox is going to have a ton of engage coming online here. They're going to be able to use that Blizzard. Also have Annihilation coming online for the Ramatra. And the Baptiste is also going to have his Amplification Matrix ready to go here. So just about everything for George Fox. I mean, as I continue my sentence, just all 5 ultimates are probably going to be available to use for this next fight. It looks like they only really need to use one, though, with the Blizzard, allowing them Chaos to just tear right through Creighton.
Yeah, and May definitely a big part of that. Thorish on the May, showing why May is Bay. But Chaos with a really nice job helping to finish some of those kills with just regular fire. Didn't even have to use the pulse to do it. They're trying to hold that ground, keep them off that ground up there. They've got a lot of space denial, and here comes Orisa. She's going to try to get in there on the Ramatra right now, but Hookbait's going to back up. Everybody comes with. They've got some abilities to use to hold space here. Really not much on the side, with the exception of Visor, which they can hide walls and block out. Slept. Orisa's trying to get in there to get Terra Surge going. Tries to drop it in there. Gets in the middle. Everything drops right now. And goes down. Oh, this is a huge victory for the side of George Fox. They're going to be able to take this. They get nearly a team wipe. I don't think there's a touch, not with the Ana. Nemesis form, one punch, bye-bye.
It didn't matter how many Qs, or it didn't matter how many ults, excuse me, that Creighton threw at the overall fight. George Fox realized they had the beat. They still had Immortality Field from Baptiste. They just spent those 2 suckers, and then it's just kind of all damage was negated for the next few seconds.
Well, and they should have just tried to wait it out, but everybody pressed Q at the same time, and if you don't have a plan when you go in there, that can create a problem. George Fox with the winning fight the first time. Hookbait doing a very effective job of taking space. Thorish hitting those walls and charging that ult really, really fast. Little bit of a change. They're coming out Zarya, Leonard on Zarya for Creighton University this time.
Chaos is also going to try his hand at the Bastion for George Fox. Bit of an early fight coming up in server room. George Fox getting to the center first, going to try to keep Creighton pinned down in this choke. Nice May wall up to separate the team as well. We also have one lurker up high from Creighton University trying to scout things out. As of right now, George Fox in a position where they can just rotate on over to the down into the point.
Very quietly at 42%, Chaos hitting that A36 concussive grenade, which really helps to charge it, but it goes to Busty Bean, goes down to Chaos and ram together real quick, and this is going to be a get out or die call from Creighton at this point. I don't know why you're taking that fight. You do not want to get staggered here. You need the 10% that your elimination would have cost you. Oh! And Wicked Savage hangs on a little bit too long and dies themselves? I missed how that happened.
Either way, no matter how it happened, it's unfortunate for Creighton. It's going to hamper their full push.
Oh.
They try to throw up a main wall, but the Nemesis form from the tank of George Fox is just too much to overcome. Hookbait and Thorish are going to pick up eliminations here and there. Creighton once again held to spawn.
Yeah, 2 fight wins for George Fox. They're coming into this with 2 ults, and they're going to have 2 others. All 3 probably really, really quick. Creighton needs to get that amp out quickly to have some value. Already DMAC goes down here, and this is going to be another lost fight. You can allow that to be a lost fight, but unfortunately, you did not draw out any ults. And if you're going to take a dry fight, you want as many ults as you can get to be dropped.
George Fox painting it. Well, they're going to spend the first ult with the Bastion. They're also going to be bringing out their Amp Matrix, so that's 2 spent. Creighton answers back with the Kitsune Rush, but the eliminations pile up once again for George Fox, who is now past 80% and only 1 team fight away from taking it all.
And it looked like about 3 confirmed kills in Nemesis form, specifically with that pummel. Hookbait having a great match thus far, and the Blizzard comes out for denial of space, and they're going to be able to hold them back here. Now they're just trying to get an elimination. They know this map. This round is lost. No one can touch. And that's first one goes to George Fox. They're playing strong.
With me.
And we'll see who gets the first nod of the spring 2024 season in terms of being player of the game.
Yep.
It's going to be Chaos doing work as Sojourn.
That's its night market. Yep. Oh, filthy. Takes out 1, 2, 3. I think put 4 pulses directly into Orisa with almost no damage being put on the Sojourn. Yeah, that was pretty convincing. So it'll be interesting to see what they want.
Well, Sojourn definitely one of those heroes that if you put the time into practicing, very high skill ceiling for that hero. So you can make incredible plays if you're just focusing on how to land those railgun shots.
And super strong right now. In the high competitive levels, you see Sojourn in just about every map, right? It's what do you want to play with Sojourn becomes the question. It was nice to see Chaos flex that Bastion on there. It was really effective, especially when they were holding close. Not really a spawn camp, but they're holding that first choke. And they won 2 fights there to really secure that map. And when you can control that small of an area and the other team doesn't have any creativity about how they want to fight you in that space, you can just throw those denial of space ults like Blizzard. Really Ram's ult, because it decays slowly as you as you have so many folks around you. And again, if you're funneling them all into an area, Ram's ult is super powerful.
And it really kind of takes away the situation that George Fox found themselves in, takes away kind of from one of the main disadvantages of Bastion, because for a DPS, he's such a big target to hit.
Yeah.
But if you're keeping the team to just that narrow hallway right there and you're already denying them so much sight, and you have Ram's shield on top of them, then that Bastion's just more than happy to lob those grenades in there and get easy kills.
That A36, just keep woofing it in there as well, just to boop them out and give them, create some space or cluster them together depending on where you put it. So this will be interesting. George Fox playing really well at this point, but even in that first map, we saw Tritons do good work, winning 2 of those fights. They went back and forth on the first map. That was good.
Now, as we wait for the second map, this is the one that we've always joked has been an auto pick for Kings Row, but
it's not. That's not the pick right now.
It's not. Maybe not the pick. We might see a different map be brought out instead in terms of the running.
I would love to see. I'd love to see just about anything. Well, and guess what?
We are switching it up.
Yeah, this will be good. I'm excited about this. Circuit is a fun one. We may see some snipers. So
yeah. We're going to see snipers on Circuit.
But will it be 1 or 2? On defending side. If it's 2, that's really interesting. I don't unless they feel like locking the Ram. I don't know that George Fox will defend with Ram. We could see Malga. Probably not. Maybe we would have seen Malga already. We'll probably see some Sigma play. And that spreads it out a little bit more on a map like this. Stretches the squads a lot longer when you got that cart that is dictates where you're going to fight. So we could see some individual play rise up quite a bit.
And down we go to Circuit Royale, and this definitely can be a tough one to push in the first 3, because you've got the ultra long sidelines for the snipers, and that applies to the first third, but especially the second third. The high ground and view that the defense has is insane as you start to approach those switchbacks in the first checkpoint.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever found yourself on the wrong side of that wall, but it's becoming more and more common.
Yep, and we're seeing 2 Widowmakers, 1 for each team. Just about what we expected, but I am most interested in how we're going to see the 2 supports also going on to the Zen here. He can definitely be a DPS in his own right, so if a player gets the timing on those orbs, then you can have 2 heroes that can just deal an insane amount of damage from far away.
Yeah. Sea Warrior already flexing the Life Weaver. This could be fun. Maybe a hot swap as they start, but maybe not.
Oh, we're.
Yep, there it goes.
Yep.
Okay. So Busty Bean hanging way back. That is a strange place. They're going to let him come to first corner here, which I'm surprised, because if you can hold first corner and you can win a fight or even delay a fight, you only have to take and win 3 fights total on the field.
First Widow Showdown securely in favor of George Fox University. Looking for another target to pick off as they've rounded the first corner, coming up to the second. Respawn comes in for Creighton University, but this is going to be at least more than halfway through to the first checkpoint.
Ooh. The palm fronds get in your way and make it so you can't aim. There's one! Wicked Savage gets dropped by Chaos. Chaos has been wanting to have that Widow the entire time. They're going to push and take first corner right away. I mean, the actual first point corner. And they're in the right spot to do it. This Genji is doing a lot of work. Thorish, really clean. Wants to get back there, can climb that wall. They're pretty vertical with this group.
It's about the maximum time you can get to getting past the first checkpoint at about 5.5 minutes now to push forward with. No one's really that close to ultimate. Closest is going to be Chaos. That's the one exception who's going to have the infrared sights and ready to go for this next fight.
I don't think the payload has been slowed once. I think it is traveling at the speed of as many of the George Fox players as are on it. I don't think it's been contested.
Yeah, they've kind of been waiting for Busty Bean to try to do work here and picking up the long-range eliminations with this Widowmaker, but Chaos has just been matching him and taking him out constantly in these team fights. That just can't happen for Creighton.
We don't have pings activated in this, but if we did, we would probably recognize that the team, George Fox, is constantly pinging where that Widow is to help Chaos out. Busty Bean does take out Chaos at this point. However, what'd you get? You played that game for quite a while, and George Fox just walked that thing all the way up. And now they've got ults to take you out here.
That one Transcendence just really doing nothing to stop the onslaught from George Fox. Now there's going to be one more ultimate there down. George Fox will have their Transcendence coming online. Infrared sights once again available for Chaos. They're going to have the Gravitic as well for George Fox. And University all bunches up in the same spot. This Gravitic could prove to be very useful.
Yeah, I feel like Busty Bean is locked, completely focused on countering Chaos, and is just not getting enough value, not getting enough shots. Acarus Walrus goes down in this case. Thorish also gets dropped by the Lucio ? We need to see that again later. But they finally get a little bit of pressure back. No, I take that back. The cart is all the way down there. I had it visioned in my mind. It was in that front corner. They get D.Va out of mech, Pilot D.Va. I think the evolved form of D.Va, but in this case, not going to be able to do as much. Probably pretty close to getting back the mech, but gets dropped in the process there.
Oh, gets the mate.
Gravitic Flux.
He was in.
Yep. May is the superstar stall, and they're just gonna. That was fast. 4 minutes and 11 seconds remaining on their attempt. That is, if Creighton has the ability to 3-cap this, that is such a formidable time lead. This has got to be frustrating for Creighton Esports.
And you got to remember, it was basically a perfect push all the way until the only time they got delayed was when they finally got into the hotel.
Yeah.
Before that, the payload just didn't stop whatsoever. So if you're trying to judge off the tempo of the other team, you got to be perfect to match them.
You know, and using that kinetic grasp and experimental barrier to perfection was oh, and they made a switch. Why didn't I notice this before? Control V. George Fox's Control V on that hero this time. Now we'll see how they do on defense, if they will choose to fight first corner and fight the really the initial push, which I think they should, even if Busty Bean or Chaos comes out, they really ought to. Yeah, this is where you want to play. You truly do.
I know the first corner, and they're going to be bringing out a Farah, but without a Mercy to follow.
Well, Farah's got a number of places that she can jump over a building here, and so. Oh, but
yeah, but that's what I was worried.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about, with how consistently Chaos has been hitting these targets. It's just going to be one shot to take her out of the air, and another landed on a Leonard.
It's not perfect accuracy. There are some misses, but it's a really patient shot process. Got a piece of it and then finished by Sigma.
And also, I also think it's just a target focus for George Fox. Even if the shot doesn't do completely, maybe it's a body shot, not a headshot, and you don't get the one shot, one kill. The rest of the teammates have Chaos's back and who he wants to take out.
Decides to drop the Widow Mine there on that first corner instead of inside, where a lot of people put it. Maybe they're looking for it in defensive, don't expect to have it. Gets behind, the Genji's in your back line, you don't want that. This is actually a pretty decent hold, slowing him down. You could create something. I mean, you could be in a good position here if you can just slow this down.
Red side pop and try to help land those headshots as they start moving away to the high ground, but Borg caught out by Chaos. Leonard gets one pick onto George Fox. Maybe they can be the start of a turnaround for Creighton. They also get one onto MPB.
But now that it's balanced again here. And George Fox has the shorter run to get in there. Defending. They could win it right here. Oh, goes for that. Hopefully Lucky Sleep doesn't get it.
Bringing out the Torb as a swap.
Oh.
Lands the first pick onto Chaos, so it wasn't able to win in terms of the Widow, but maybe on the Torb things are going to be a different story. Moves up to high ground around the second corner. Creighton University going to be using the Nano Boost, putting it onto the Diva as well as the Beat. Not in response to the gravitic that George Fox brought out. Now Creighton University slowly making up time, a bit shorter from George Fox, but taking it one checkpoint at a time. They're moving on in this round.
A hot molten sniper in a tiny little dwarf man. Oh, Genji drops down here, but is immediately going to take fire from the turret. Turret staying at full health. George Fox not doing a very effective job at eliminating or at least minimizing that turret. Torb able to lay it down. They get the first point here in some decent time. Creighton showing signs of life here, but they're going to have to back up just a little bit more. Oh, sneaky May, short cryo. It's a gutsy move, but if you can get that elimination, you can do quite a bit with it. Creighton may have overstepped here. They've got just one on the cart, and everybody else is kind of flanking. Hard to have your supports flanking. They're coming in slow. They're not at full strength yet. Creighton trying to set up around this first corner.
Ooh, that's what I was waiting for. MPB lands it with the Zen.
That's right. Here.
Waiting for one to do it on the right click. Might be looking at another.
Did you order extra balls? Here they are. Yeah, it's the Buffalo Wild Wings helping of orbs. And now they're pushed back to that corner again that they won so effectively. They got some ults to come up here, but they got to take this fight together. Can't have anybody staggered. He's going to step out there, but Sig, rightly so, is going to push up until those other ones start to come out here. Got to take this together.
Full strength. They will have the multi-core to start this fight out with. George Fox also has Gravitic. And just a narrow window of time to possibly use it against Creighton because this beat is going to be online in just a few seconds.
There are not as many ults that can be comboed on the George Fox side the way they've selected this. They haven't needed them thus far. You got to get some health on your Diva there. But on the Creighton side, they do. They can actually put a couple things together. And they can sustain for quite a bit longer.
And then trying to get into the back line to defuse that Zen, but the over discord placed onto the Baby Diva. But the 2-on-1 will work out in favor of Creighton. But at the front lines, it's been a trade back and forth. DPSs for George Fox putting in work.
Nice.
Big pick.
They may actually get this second point. The clock is not helping them though. George Fox is going to be able to come in here with 4 ults to try to hold this point. They're going to be able to take this fight to do it. Only Diva Bomb, self-destruct, something they can use in this, but they know it's coming. They're definitely talking about it. George Fox trying to get in position.
Overclock spent by Chaos, but hasn't really been able to land any of the shots.
Oh!
Gets a huge pick onto George Fox's tank, and one more trying to get away. Chaos not going to be able to stand up against Leonard. And now they're just going to stagger out the rest, and a blade brought out. Woo! It does get Leonard. It's not enough to change the course of the whole fight.
Yeah, I have to believe that this for Thorish is going to be a change, and use that before they get out. Thorish, no. So maybe it was a fat finger. Maybe it was just I'm not going to let you do this to me use of an ult, right? A little ego ult. Not saying that was you, Thorish, but maybe you ego ulted that. Tried to get an elimination or 2 out of that. Going to jump up there and continue to provide value. You got to be completely aware. Of course, that Sojourn Leonard still on the Creighton side. You don't want to be an exposed support player. You got to use a lot of your cooldowns to get that. Oh, Anti down below is Control V again, but has ult online. Are they going to start stacking these things? We will see very quickly.
Another one falls for Creighton University. Leonard follows soon afterwards. Wicked Savage. The question is, does he get away or do they manage to pick up a stagger? He's trying to hold on. That's a huge stagger considering that Creighton only has a minute left. That's a good amount of time to bleed away from them.
Yeah, and when they VOD review this, they're going to want that one back. They're going to want that fight back because they didn't need to take it like that. And you just can't ego and let yourself get wrecked here. You got to wait for your tank to get out in front, eat those things. And now George Fox is going to be able to dictate the way this next fight goes because they're holding this press. They almost need to beat in on this, right? Beat so they can push.
But consistently, they've had one of their DPSs down every time they want to try to push past the choke. This could be the last chance for them to push through as a full team. They haven't spent any ultimates. Now, as I say that, they use the beat to push through. What's George Fox going to do in response? We do see the nade be brought out, the sticky nade onto Thorish. Overclock also in terms of a nano boost as well. That is one deadly Sojourn. But Chaos is going to say, I can do that without the nano boost. Take out Wicked Savage, then Busty Bean. Leonard is down for the count, and Creighton just has nothing left.
No
in
touches,
the holster.
no touches. Nah, no one can get a touch on that. And that is going to end it. Creighton with a great push, unexpected, push back, gets all the way to second point, and it's the Widow. Of course, it's the Widow.
I don't think you could have given it to anyone else this game.
No.
Just Chaos was consistently, when Busty Bean was on the Widow, he was consistently winning just about every duel that was placed on. Even then, I mean, just recognizing there, okay, I can't get anyone on the ground floor. I'll just look up, and there's another target I can get.
There it was. George Fox really established some kind of control there on the attack. That cart didn't slow down, as we said. It was uncontested. It was a failed Widow battle early, on the defensive side, and they maybe should have switched off a little bit quicker. But in comms, you want to give your teammate the benefit, and sometimes I got to stay on it. I got to stay on it, or I got this, and did get I think 2 trades total, but that's not enough if the cart keeps moving.
Now we just go on to the third stage with George Fox having a very real possibility of closing this out in a complete sweep of the best of 5.
Yep.
Could actually be a short night here if George Fox has anything to say about it.
Well, my guess would be that if even if it is a George Fox 3-0 in this matchup, I mean, that's not really the score. You start to think about the number of fights that Creighton won, especially on this one. You got to win the last fight to win the map. You do the math. That checks out. But they didn't win the last fight to win the map. George Fox did, but it was much more competitive. So even if it turns out to be a 3-0, I think we're going to see Cervasa here.
Probably, most likely.
Yep.
It's been a coin flip, and really it's been a weighted coin flip throughout the entire of the fall season. Cervasa has
Check the coin. It's a trick coin.
It almost always has. I think I can only count one time when I've really seen New Junk City be brought out. At Cervasa, just everyone seems to be comfortable with it. And
I love New Junk. That's my favorite of the two. Cervasa is very beautiful, but New Junk is just fun. It's got a whole lot of hidden character in it. It's it expands the world of Junkertown in a sense. It uses some of the similar things, and I just love the BattleBots whole vibe that it's got going.
Well, despite all of Doc's praise, it is going to be Cervasa, just as we knew it, and just as it has always stayed. Really no major changes over the winter break. It's just been sitting, waiting for us to come back and embrace it.
Well, and over winter break, there's not as much scrimming that happens typically, so you tend to fall back on those that you have comfortable strats on, that you've talked about, that you feel comfortable on, right? I mean, at the end of the day, map picks are about comfort, and in this case, Creighton preferred Cervasa.
But I also think that what you were talking about Circuit Royale being a lot closer, because Creighton had that pick, that was probably one they were a little more confident on. You can't really do that with Cervasa because everyone has played it so much.
Yeah.
I think George Fox has got to be feeling really good about this. If I were to make a prediction...
Are you going to make a prediction?
I think they'll take it in 3. I think they'll get all 3 of the flashpoints.
I don't know that I want to predict it, but I think even if that's true, I think more than one of them will go 99-99.
Okay.
Right now, George Fox exhibiting really good, except for the last fight on third point there and the last 2 fights on third point, really good coordination of the ultimates that they have to win fights and not over-ulting. I didn't see that nearly as much from Creighton, but this is the first game of the fall season. They're getting into it. I mean, this is an opponent for them that they have some familiarity with. They played them last season. So, and I would know actually a lot about their history if we'd known that we were going to broadcast this game more than an hour ago.
5, 4.
Here we go.
I like it.
1.
Third and final. We're going to be starting out on the same market flashpoint that we always do. Creighton University, the only one really using the Lucio speed boost here. George Fox deciding to bring out a Mercy
and a
Junker Queen.
This could actually be really, really OP. Yeah, even with the May here, Queen is just so sticky. All right, dropping into it immediately. The Mercy goes down. That's the one you want to try to eliminate, and eliminated primarily by the Anna. The fight continues here. Leonard goes down. The May falls by the Queen. I think Queen's going to pick up another one here pretty quick if they can keep Hookbait up. Hookbait is back in, by the way.
Yep, just ducked around the corner to wait for those cooldowns to get back online. Now it's at only 25 health. Not going to find it. George Fox will lose the first team fight, allowing Creighton to start charging things up. Maybe 1 or 2 chances left for George Fox, but things are a bit speedier as far as that percentage is concerned on Flashpoint.
Mborg 88 with just a wicked sleep there on the Queen, who is already really, really low, so that additional damage was going to take her. Oh, that was a big hit right there. I didn't hear the hit marker, but it looked like it might have been a headshot there, critical damage.
Maywall brought up to buy a little bit more time. Also, we saw the nade go on to 2 for George Fox. It was spent pretty early, though. Chaos lands one of the shots with the railgun onto Mborg 88. It's able to duck down just to find a bit more health. George Fox now has the overclock, so this Sojourn now being boosted as well by the Mercy. Takes out With the help of GT Flourish, it's going to take out Leonard, Busty Bean, and Wicked Savage.
Yep, and they're going to win this second fight here. And in a surprising turn here, they're probably going to take this point. I don't think they've adjusted the. Oh, sorry, George Fox takes that. I don't. Look at the tick there. That's accelerating. This is a little bit of the. I don't know. To me, it looks like it might still be a little bit of the hack Sombra quick play hack rules,
yeah.
Right? It's a private match. I actually wonder, but they're playing it when they play it out. So here we go, bomb ready there. Just saw the TP from Kiriko. That's a great time to know that you can use that bomb. It's going to be up again here pretty quick. They're taking that fight in the corner right there. Lucio goes back in there. But Thorish trying to just get a confirmed kill and finally does. And they're unable to take that back. They're going to top him right here. Maybe one fight left. Creighton's got a couple of bad spawns. They're going to have to take this fight down.
Busty Bean was trying to actually kind of sneakily take that point as the Lucio. Creighton University now down to just seconds to retake this point. Moving on further and further. They do get one touch on it from that Lucio. That's what he tried last time. Perfect knife landed. And this Sojourn is down and out for the count. George Fox continues to move on, and this Queen is on a rampage. Now going after that Lucio who got the touch on to the point. We do see Visor be brought out by Creighton, but I think it's too little too late to turn a fight like this around. Hookbait lands the pick, and that looks like first flashpoint taken for George Fox.
Creighton, I don't want to assume that you'll go back and watch this VOD, but if so, somebody in that group has got to call lost fight, no ults, no ults. Because you enter this next one at a significant disadvantage. I'm going to give you credit. It was 88.99, but to me that was the equivalent of 99.99, and they won the first two fights. Going to back up here. Leonard takes a fight, or it gets picked off somehow, prematurely. Thorish is going to try to get out now. They're just getting back over there, but they take that fight a little bit early. Defense Matrix is out. Going to push in there. They're going to take it over. And finally it comes out. Wicked Savage goes down, but then Thorish immediately gets railgun and only gets one for that, but that's good enough. Busty Bean goes down. They're still even. 3 in the fight for each, but you got Baby Diva right now, and she goes down right away. Oh my goodness. That is an ult of all ults, and she made it work. Denials, but somehow, George Fox holds on.
They do, but if you want to talk about a lemonade from lemon scenario, even though that was a completely dry fight from Creighton University, they were able to bleed 2 ultimates off of George Fox and will have this railgun available for the next fight. Also a swap over to the Rhine, change things up in the tank department.
Kitsune is going to be up pretty quick as well. Not able to get much there. That's a tough 1v1 because you've got to be very, very careful and take it before reflect, and you have to wait a lot of times. Okay, in goes Queen, and Wicked Savage gets dropped as well by the knife. Oh, that's +2 on the side of George Fox. I don't think they're going to be able to contest. That's 3. Now they're just kind of clearing it out. Leonard, don't use this ult. Hear me. Don't use this ult. Save it for the next fight. You guys got to turn this around. You got to turn around with momentum. You got to take fights together.
The team is starting to regroup, but George Fox now has 2 flashpoints to their name.
And I'll tell you what, if you're a DPS and you're taking on a tank in that situation, you've already got your ult, you're not charging your ult, you only have risk there. You're likely not taking on a tank who's well supported, not going to get an elimination. You risk getting eliminated yourself, and then you put your fight. Just get away. Just no fight. Don't take a fight. Don't ego.
Sune Rush now available. Walrus getting very close to his shatter. Brings out the charge, misses. Trying to find a way to push down this hookbait. Lands the shatter. That's going to be a pick onto Thorish. George Fox not going to be able to do much in the case of a shatter in that small of a room. Creighton University going to be able to take the flashpoint first.
But what's crazy about this is they're actually still holding position, getting value up there. There's just 2 healers up top there now. They're going to have to get away. Wicked Savage running back to the battle after getting eliminated there. He's got his ult. He's going to get into the perfect ult position. They should be looking for it if they're George Fox. He's going to come around to that side. Oh, trying to get those railguns on the Mercy. Yep, that's the one that you want, but they can jump up there anytime they want. There it is. The Rhine goes down. Thorish able to get value out of that. Wicked Savage. Woo! A little bit late there. You're going to get rushed down by the Queen. You need a little help. You don't get an elimination for the cost of that ult. That's unfortunate. You want to use it when someone's engaged and not paying attention. That's going to be essentially a team wipe on the side of Creighton. George Fox in position.
Total team wipe, a team wipe and an ultimate wipe on top of that.
Yeah. They're going to have Kitsune Rush coming up to this one. They've switched, Wicked Savage switched over to the Bastion. They just need more damage. The problem is Thorish can nullify a huge chunk of that. And George Fox clearly has prepped this map because they know their hold position. They're well organized in their cooldown usage. Forced him to go all the way around. Hookbait's going to meet him there, but it's going to be well supported. They're taking the long, long way around. And you're walking into what will be 4 ults when you get there.
One ult comes online for Creighton University. Kitsune Rush. See how that one works out for them as Rampage ready to be used here by Hookbait. Looking to get a view on all of those squishies in the back. Yep, pinned by the Rhine. Kitsune Rush expended, as well as the Genji Blade and Valkyrie from George Fox. Still hanging on to that Rampage. Going to wait out everything that Creighton has to push on. That Rhine is way out of position. Trying to get back and is low on health as well. Goes in with the Rampage. Lands the nade onto Creighton University.
Here it goes.
And it is the coup de grace for George Fox University.
It is.
My prediction came true. They take it in 3 flashpoints, and that'll be it for the match as well.
Yeah, what's great about this match for them is it comes right at the beginning of a patch. They're going to have a couple weeks to sit on this replay code. They ought to create it and save it because I think they're both going to learn a lot from it beginning of the season. And Chaos again. It's often an EPS player that gets it, but that, the Queen ult just softens everybody up and allows your Sojourn to just clean up like that. That was great. I mean, come on, Blizzard, make plays of the games like co-op, animations, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good too. An assist thing.
Yeah, so it shows the 2 that were heavily involved in it. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Nice idea.
Well, if so, then at least give me some. I would take Overwatch coins at this point. Overwatch League coins at this point. I'll take anything. If they want to pay me for that idea, that's probably what it's worth.
Every time you do it, every time anytime one of those duo play of the game animations go, he gets 1 Overwatch League coin.
There you go. I like it. So for Creighton, first game of the season did not go the way you wanted, but you have a killer replay that you can learn a ton from. And George Fox, your strats worked. Your replays will allow you to go back, review the film, and clean up the little things that didn't go well, the little mistakes you made, the little egos you took, and just get tighter and tighter. And the Broncos and George Fox will meet in the last game of the regular season in the West Central. So that'll be cool.
All stuff to look forward to. And talking about things to look forward to tonight, we've got one more Overwatch match to get to. We'll take a short break and then be back with that match. So don't go away. We'll see who gets the win. He was talking about that George Fox, University of Missouri, UNMU, or...
Oh, specifically Kansas.
Kansas and George Fox.
Yeah.
So we'll see who one-ups each other in their performance. We'll do that right after this break, so do not go away.
Oh, this is a huge victory.
Either way, no matter how it happened, it's unfortunate for Creighton. It's going to hamper their full push to try to throw up a main wall. But the nemesis form from the tank of George Fox is just too much to overcome. Hookbait and Thorish are going to pick up eliminations here and there. Creighton once again held to spawn.
The team, George Fox is constantly pinging where that Widow is to help Chaos out. Busty Bean does take out Chaos at this point. However, what'd you get? You played that game for quite a while, and George Fox just walked that thing all the way up. And now they've got ults to take you out at this point. However, what'd you get? You played that game for quite a while, and George Fox just walked that thing all the way up. And now they've got ults to take you out.
That one Transcendence just really doing nothing to stop the onslaught.
Get Diva out of mech, Pilot Diva. I think the evolved form of Diva, but in this case, not going to be able to do as much. Probably pretty close to getting back the mech, but gets dropped in the process there.
Oh, gets the mace.
Bit of flux.
He was in.
Yep. Be in a good position here if you can just slow this down.
Red sights pop. Going to try to help land those headshots as they start moving away to the high ground, but Borg caught out by Chaos. Leonard gets one pick onto George Fox. Maybe they can be the start up a turnaround for Creighton. They also get one on
here.
Waiting for one to do it on the right click. Might be looking at another.
Did you order extra balls? Here they are. Yeah, it's the Buffalo Wild Wings helping of orbs. And now they're pushed back to that corner again that they won so effectively. They got some ults to come, and they can sustain for quite a bit longer.
And then trying to get into the backline to defuse that Zen, but the Orb of Discord placed onto the Baby Diva. But the 2-on-1 will work out in favor of Creighton, but at the front lines, it's been a trade back and forth. DPSs for George Fox putting in work.
See, down below is Control V again, but has ult online. Are they going to start stacking these things? We will see very quickly.
It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything.
Here in Idaho, we do things a little differently. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. Next, always use fry sauce. I mean, why wouldn't you? Hold steady when out-of-state friends think you're from Iowa. We call it pop, not soda. We always put a lift on our pickups. And we always buckle up because we still have a lot we want to do, and I'm guessing you do too.
Welcome back to the NACE Star League studio. We just finished up our first match, Creighton versus George Fox. George Fox pulled out the victory 3-0. And the other side of that rivalry is their own rival Kansas is going to face off in their own fight. So one have bragging rights over the other.
Yep.
We're just going to have to see as they overcome. We're joined by Doc Haskell.
I got the night off.
Of the action.
Sort of.
For as much as we were hyping Manga up at the beginning of the match, we didn't see a
No.
trace of it.
No, and I don't know if we're going to see him this time as well, but, you know, anytime there's a new hero, there's a question, are they playable? We saw briefly the Life Weaver kind of pop up, but nobody ran him. So it's too bad. But if you're wondering why I'm here, well, I mean, I do have my 20 hours of community service that I need to perform in this case. But we didn't have a match tonight, so we got a first round bye. And we take on Creighton next week.
A chance to scout. This is secretly another scouting mission, too. We get to see all the other players.
Between week 1 and week 2, right? That's the question, is what are you going to get? But they're going to learn a ton. The team that you see between week 1 and week 2 is generally different if they're engaged. So.
All right, let's take a look at this fight that's on deck. We've got Kansas versus University of Missouri St. Louis, and it definitely seems like all of these long gamer tags are still going to be a little bit of a thorn in our side.
Yeah, and this is fodder for the blooper reels. I'm going to go with Swirly Hawk On the Kansas side, they've only got 4 players. Abney, Thinkerino, and Wendy's Frosty.
Renzi's Frosty.
Wendy's Frosty.
Well, mine's
Wow.
actually considerably easier. I almost feel bad. We've got Swifty Rick, Prophet, Plasma, Catastrophe, and Bigsby Stank.
Bigsby Stank. Hey, production, write this on the whiteboard. I think we just make the executive decision to change this font. Heaven forbid.
It might be, one of the sacrifices that has to be made.
You know what sucks is that I used to just laugh out loud as y'all struggled with it. Mostly when Artie struggled with it. Now I'm a victim of it. So
Yep.
it's not funny anymore.
Being on this side of it, yeah. Yeah, certainly hasn't been the time that I've been confused on whether it's a 5 or 9 that's showing, but sometimes that's the sacrifices you make for having a cool font look.
It's exactly right. As we get into this, I'm excited to see the Kansas team. Don't know much about Missouri St. Louis, but we do know Missouri, specifically St. Louis, is a hotbed for amazing players. You look at SLU, top of the charts right now in League of Legends. Obviously, you've got Maryville. Can you think of name some other Missouri schools that are pretty good at stuff?
Mizzou.
Okay.
Mizzou is always in the running.
Yeah.
It's one of those schools that is so well established and usually does such a good job in the they're always kind of like a keystone in competitive matches.
This is going to go to Colin's head, so we can't talk about how good Mizzou is. We don't need that up in here. But as we get into this, we're going to see Lijiang first, which I'm excited about. I love that map. It's a lot of fun to play. It's a lot of fun to call. Night Market may not actually be night, but it should be good.
We'll see if they decide to play in nighttime for this particular match, just because the last one was in daytime. Maybe these players have a little bit of a different aesthetic choice. Although we did see Night Market and Control Center for the first match, we did not see Gardens. And just as being someone who's always a sucker for good, entertaining boops, that's the one I always root for. Much to other casters, specifically Artie's chagrin, in that I'm a bit one note in that regard.
So here's the deal. The truth is the
5,
Control Center has
4,
3
3,
great spots that
1.
you can boop. If
Round
you
1.
spawn camp,
Capture
your
the
Lucio can
objective.
get out there on their ship and wall ride their ship. They're going to meet in the middle here. The Ram is going to come out early. This is Wendy Frosty doing a little bit of damage there for Kansas. Thinking Goldie, Awash, and Swirly Hawk. I think this is going to be pretty easy on that side. That's a good one.
Dash in from the Genji, taking out Zing, and now has some support on his list. Nemesis form brought out by Swirly Hawk helps pick up a double as UMSL is just pushed all the way back to their spawn.
Kansas is going to take fight number 1. Are they going to be able to keep the SIG up? If he stayed in there, that's probably a better decision by Thinking than to try to confirm that kill. Out of cooldowns at that point, only had reflex to get out. But SIG, you can't get in there by yourself. You're going to get slowed and beat down. And you're going to spend both your really good defensive bolts to do that. Shield is cracked. Kinetic Grasp already taken as well. Bastion comes out there just doing damage, wearing them down.
It hit with the sleep dart, but
not a coordinated sleep.
Finding a little bit out of position with Soldier. Zing is covered though.
Oh, Nemesis form comes out. And the pummel takes down 2. Takes down Zing and Big B Stank. I just love that name. I'm on the side of Missouri St. Louis. I just love that name. Okay, they've got a number of ults here. Kansas is going to have 4 ults pretty quick here. They're going to coordinate these and drop them. This is the right time to drop window and clear a little space, hopefully get an elimination. Oh, they go up the stairs to do it. And the Ram has to back out there. They're going to drop their own window in the same case here.
Dangerous hallway to peek down with the Bastion and that window. Kind of peeking between. Bolt Artillery now online for Kansas. Beat going to be expended in the face of the Graphitic as their traditional counter. Kansas now also has the Genji Blade coming online. UMSL only has the Overclock. Can Thinking pick up anybody? No, he's eliminated by Zing. The damage still from Wendy's Frosty is keeping UMSL at bay. Even if they do win this fight, Kansas is almost already all the way that they need to take this first point.
Swirly Hawk trying to back out and live here, gets the barrier down. Going to do some damage to the soldier. But Stank goes down, Prophet goes down, Wendy Frosty also eliminated. This is +2 on the side of Kansas. Now it's +3 on the side of Kansas, +4. That's a team wipe, and that is 100%. They're going to easily flip. When you're up by that much, give point, win fight, repeat to step 1.
Solid match, all things considered, as we finish up round 1 in Kansas's favor. Take a look back at some of the highlights from that last match and just how much of a terror the Ramatra was.
Yeah, that Void Accelerator, well aimed and doing tons of damage. Nemesis form comes out, the pummel goes out and just starts cleaning them up. People see that as a, oh, hit it. Let's go. Come on, hit it, hit it.
Oh,
now this is the content I've been waiting for. It's basketball season.
And forget Lucio Ball, let's get the unofficial Overwatch Basketball League going here.
Okay, so they're just trying to win the fight out there. No, they're not staying. Will the teleport come out on the other side? Nope. Yes. And they drop down, but they won that fight so that they could get out there and get that Bastion out right away. They spent everything.
So much collateral damage.
Oh my goodness, that. Something I haven't seen before. You rush to point so that Bastion can just waste them as they use their cooldowns right there and just swing away. Swing away. They're gonna clean it up right here. He's getting.
Oh, and is gonna push that Bastion off of the edge.
When you, sorry, Shifty's gonna pay the price for this in just a little bit. You can't overextend that much. Wow.
Muffin Man.
Well, color me wrong.
Fight still continues, and Swirly Hawk is going to look to clean things up with the Nemesis form. Goldie also takes off Prophet. That's a quad on the Nemesis form, completely annihilating any chance that the Tritons had.
Yep, and actually uses Annihilation as the ult to clean that up, and they were so stacked that you couldn't get that ult to go away fast enough. That is, for those who don't know, when Annihilation comes out, if they are within that, the more enemies that are within Annihilation form's boundary, the longer it lasts, the more damage it does. Nemesis form drops out right here.
Tries to charge. And there was a beat expended by UMSL to get their way onto the point. Wendy's Frosty is going to be taken out, quite able to hold things down. Goldie drops, and first real point take for the Tritons as Kansas looks to regroup.
And they take it with 4. Kansas gets the point here for the first time. They did get it up to 61%, so that was the goal at the end. When the fight's lost, you know, if you've got control, keep it going as long as you can. Setting up a little cross-map opportunity just to try to get out quick if needed. Yep. Oh, and they destroyed it!
Just covered kind of the 2 back doorways and made no safe places to retreat. Took out Zane's Swifty Trick. Gonna take out Swirly Hawk. That's a huge pick from Kansas. Their main tank, and dare I say, main kill getter gone. Kansas kind of having to awkwardly hold back off of the point. Trying to maybe just soft reset until Swirly Hawk comes back. That
good try.
Went in deep with his charge. There's a whole bunch of damage pushed onto him. He's going to be able to get out of there. Meanwhile, Thinking was able to take out Muffin Man. One of the supports down for UMSL. Genji Blade now expended by Kansas. Photon Barrier is going to be used in response, as well as Shatter. Shatter doesn't pick up anybody. Prophet is taken out by the Tritons. And now a whole lot of ultimate sped for UMSL, and Kansas just ready to start their full-on assault.
Oh, it starts with a charge. Doesn't do anything with it. That's 1, 2, 3, immediately gone for after they spent all those ults to hold on to it. They're going to have a couple of fights here. Look at the ticks on this. Okay, I'm having one of those Charlie Day moments where I'm like trying to show that something's wrong in the universe, but no, it's not happening here. Sorry for the Always Sunny reference there. Now, they're going to try to do this. They're setting up these ults really, really well, but no one's got much of anything Now you've got this opportunity for to get the Matrix out, and they do, and they get one, they get two. Oh, that dash reset is so valuable right there. When they get that squishy, and you get another one right
away. This is a rough position also from the Tritons. There's this one lone Baptiste left.
Yep.
And I mean,
his job was to touch, but no one else can touch.
And that's going to be it for that first match.
Yes. Impressive, but with the exception of Control Center, which once you get control of those chokes, if you don't have creative ways to break that choke, that'll happen a lot. You'll spend such an expensive piece of real estate to regain. You have to spend all your ults, most of your cooldowns to get some of those eliminations, unless you have something crafty. But everybody knows the map, and I think everybody knows the strategies. There aren't really that many that you can use.
One thing that's kind of similar between the first match and the second match we saw at the very end for the Tritons, they kind of a huge amount of ultimate spend. The photon barrier went up, and then we saw Shatter that got absolutely nothing. Yeah. And I just thought back to the first match. They spent all their ultimates, and they had nothing to spend for the next fight, the last fight. And talking about things that are the same, things that will never change, we're seeing our old favorite finally come back into the mix, going back to Kings Row.
Kings Row it is. And so because this is the rotation for NACE at this part of the season, and it wasn't for ABC and it wasn't for a couple of other tournaments, but because it is for this one, people push back against Kings Row so much that we see a lot of, we see Circuit as the replacement. And actually, these are in a slightly different order. They still got to play the same 3 maps, but this is often where we expect to see Kings Row. So this will be fun. We've seen some Rhine play. We've seen some Ramatra play. And the Rhine was effective on the first 2 fights for St. Louis, for Missouri St. Louis.
Definitely so, and Kings Row definitely, especially, when you're talking about the enclosed spaces, you're talking about, first off, the choke point, the archway, kind of the ultimate choke point, and then the third part of the stage that's just very enclosed by design. I'm thinking if we're seeing that annihilation, if it's popped, if you got the team clustered together, as Kings Row can sometimes do to your team, then I think that Ramatra is very scary.
We haven't seen a Sigma played that much. We did see in that one, the Sig was the one who was tasked with taking that space, but for Missouri when they were coming back in. Okay, time to dive in.
1. Attackers incoming.
They launched the Ram. Thank you so much. We appreciate that, Missouri St. Louis. That was awesome. You know Flying Ram? Have you seen Flying Ram before, Jacob?
Right now, I can't think about what I've seen. All I can think about is what I'm seeing right now. This Ram just going ham right onto the Triton, putting so much damage onto this Rhine down below half health. Has to duck back. They have to spend the Immortality Field to get on out of there. Swirly Hawk gets his first pick onto the tank. He's going to get another one onto Zine. Swifty Trick is next on the list. It's just a little bit of cleanup from here on out, and the first fight won by Kansas.
Yeah, doing most of the work in getting those folks really low. Swirly Hawk on Ramatra with that Void Accelerator. Because it can cross map like that. If you can aim it, you can continue to poke. It's such an interesting ability combination. Okay, they're setting this up right here. They're getting rounding on some ults here. And they're going to get some pretty quick.
Wendy's Frosty gets the first pick onto Muffin Man. Who's next on the list once that railgun charges up? It's my question. Swirly Hawk might not even leave too many targets for Frosty to shoot onto. Picks off Zine, is pushing this Rhine back once again. Wendy's Frosty takes out Profit. And once again, UMSL held at their spawn.
Ryan's got to live. He's going to take the wall over there. They're going to have Amplification Matrix ready to drop right here. They're going to be at full form. Really what they want is they want Kansas to overcommit to this. And they're starting to back up. They know what's coming up. I think that we're going to, if they push to that side, we're going to see Annihilation dropped right here, I believe. Yep, there it is. And you see that ticking it down, the time ticking down. As long as they're in the halo there, it goes so slowly. finds another target and gets in there. But this is too much. With Zing going down, they're trying to just keep him at bay in there. But they're so with the reset as well. There's 2, 3. Thinking you're going to have to write an apology letter to the Missouri St. Louis folks. That was abusive.
Kansas also realized in that position, too, they are not spending any ultimates. They don't have to. They just realized that they had them all boxed into a corner. They could take them out with just normal abilities, which means they still have an ultimate advantage in this next fight. Going to be moving on in, looking for this May beat extended by UMSL. Genji Blade and beat used in response by Kansas. Wednesday's Frosty and Thinking both pick up one. Now is looking for even more targets. Swirly Hawk is picked off by Swifty Trick, but everyone else on the team is gone. So this Reinhardt can only watch. I mean, he's got the May, but she's in a cryo freeze, trying to hide, gets taken out by the railgun. Swifty Trick gets eliminated by Frosty. Now just this Lucio isn't going to be able to stall things out.
Yep, Wendy Frosty, they're going to have one fight left here. St. Louis will. They've got some ults that they can use. They've got to get a great position to take some space with that amplification matrix, but they spent some other things. They're not going to get tired early in this fight. They're only going to have 2, and they've got to deal with another amplification matrix on the other side. And of course, Wendy Frosty dropping that ult. Here we go. Nemesis form out, blocks, and ends up on the right side for more damage. They're just going to keep holding right here, holding space, because they only got to take it down. 14 more left, and St. Louis unable to get much out of it. That is all 5. Prophet's going to be coming back in. Might be able to get a touch here, but maybe not. Can we touch? Yes! Nice job. But they're not going to be able to get many more out there. You've got to have a hero that can take some of that space, and that's going to be it. Not a single tick.
The dream scenario, if you're defending on a hybrid, now it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yep.
1 tick is all that Kansas needs.
When we talk about it, and we're in a position like this, there's always a call by team leaders in comms for patience. You don't have to win fast. You just have to win completely. You have to win a fight +3, +2, +3. You can't trade, right? Or you lose you create a scenario where they can stagger and come back and recontest, right? So you just have to win as a team definitively. And so you got to move together. And so Kansas will have to do that. Going to get all the way up there. I'm trying to figure out how St. Louis did there. Usually what you do is you fly up, right? And then you get halfway up. Usually you need to get your Rhine all the way to the top there, you need a couple of things. Potentially you need a Sim, you need a May, or you need a Life Weaver to get Rhine up there so Rhine can do that launch, which is wicked fun to do. And in the old days of 2 tanks, you could bubble the Rhine about the time they hit. Yeah, that was pre-Life Weaver, of course.
In the old days, the Rhines are...
Did I just say the old days?
Nope, not going to find anyone out there. It's just an
That's
early
the right
peek
move.
to see if you can get anybody. Look at all that damage being placed in the hotel. They're forcing St. Louis back in there. Annihilation moving through. Actually, just the Nemesis form, Sans Annihilation. Doesn't quite get anything, though. So Kansas will be held at bay, pushing more damage onto UMSL and waiting for the team to regroup. One of Kansas kind of caught out thinking. Caught out near the statue. They used the rotation through the hotel. Swirly Hawk picks off his tank. And Prophet also eliminated. Zane trying to hold on for dear life. Now back down below half health, just 1. And that's going to probably be the first tick for Kansas. They finish it off with Lucio. Whole team fight 1. And that's going to do it.
Kansas did it the way that I suggested that they needed to do it, with patience. You don't need to contest the point unless it gives you value in forcing positioning, right? You just take the fight where you want to take the fight, you get those eliminations, and then you claim the point. And the truth is that works on first point attack when there's no pressure on you to take that first point, right? Just take the first fight, win the first fight definitively. Set it up the way, take as long as you need to win that first fight, just don't lose it.
Well, if you're looking at the lineup for the stages that we've got looking here, this could be called the lineup of complacency. Just about everything that you expect to see, we're seeing.
Yep. I don't think it's the lineup of comfort. It's hey, it's week 1. We're not going to see the crazy stuff yet. Everybody's trying to play in the safe mode. When you're in that conversation, it's like, okay, which flashpoint are we going to take on? The answer just comes out of comfort, right?
Right.
There's always one who says, I don't know, I think we're pretty good at new junk. And then somebody's like, no, it's got to be Cervasa. Cervasa's our best, right? At this point, there's not a lot of current meta tape on these teams, or replays. So you just have to go with what you know. And based on the way that the Ramatra has been played on the Kansas side, I mean, that Void Accelerator doing so much pre-fight damage before they're even taking hits. You've got the Missouri St. Louis DPS trying to get in position around the sides. They're just not getting enough early fight damage, and then when they hit that go button and they brawl together, I mean, it is. Ramatra gives you that poke plus brawl.
Initial flashpoint marking.
All right. Are you going to predict the same? 3-0?
You know what, Kansas, especially if I see the Ramatra from them, I mean, there are a few more wide open points here on Cervasa.
Oh, first
but
fight going.
I think he's just going to continue on what he's doing and picking up eliminations left and right once he gets into Nemesis form. But no, he's going with the Queen, actually.
Okay, I like this play. This could be fun. We could see some just different combinations, which would be nice. Zing trying to get some more value. Who are you going to shoot at? The reflex comes out. Don't need that. Zing really low and getting beat up on by the Queen and the Genji. Yeah. And the Lucio. Lucio chase him down. Jump out there. Try to keep him up, but you're going to get dashed right through. That Genji's so painful against. That Genji really focusing some problems right there. And that's going to be 3, 4 real quick. Remember, you've got Zing still running back after a hero game. And Profit goes down. That's effectively a team wipe. They're going to get to 50%. Kansas in the driver's seat with rounding 2 very good ults. They're going to get 2 ults, 3 ults early in this fight. I think they can secure the whole point with it.
There's 1 fight left before the first flashpoint is claimed. Kansas getting very close to a few ults between a Red and the Rampage just going to be on deck. Zig tries to throw out the accretion, doesn't land it. Muffin Man eliminated by Frosty in one foul swoop with the railgun shot. Swirly Hawk now has Rampage online. The question is, where will they use it? Might not even have to use it at this point because the tank is down for the Tritons. Profit follows soon afterwards. Now it's just cleanup work for the rest of the players.
The Profit pick, looking to try to get some picks and confirm some kills. Something they've struggled with in the previous maps. Really good use to that speed boost to get everybody there. And they're moving really well as a team, Kansas is. Profit, though, not switching on, has an ult. There is no ult that wins an entire fight, although there's some that can help. But if they were going to switch, the Price should have switched before this fight. They come in together. Where is that Tracer? Everybody's craning their head around, especially Lucio, looking for it, saving that beat to drop it when they start to use some of their big ults, especially, obviously, we talked about it before, they could save it for Kitsune. Oh, get that boop! Oh, he missed it. It just couldn't get it. Just was there in the wrong point of the cooldown. Going to get out there, not able to get it. Goes down in the process. Finish it up. Dash comes up. Oh, dash just a little bit late, but that right click is going to send those 3 shurikens out to just take care of business.
And Kansas is just sitting on all 5 of these ults. What's interesting is also Zing is very close on his ult as well. So basically all 10 for this next fight are available. Do I think all of them are going to use it at the same time? No, but there are so many options here for crazy plays. They're going to be starting out with the Gravitic. Kansas uses their counter to that. They're going to spend the beat instead. Kitsune Rush and beat brought out from the Tritons themselves, and here come a whole bunch of ultimates. Genji Blade and Rampage lands the ante onto 2 from the Tritons. Thinking lands it with the Genji Blade onto Zing and Swifty Trick, and UMSL as their ultimates are all gone, has nothing to stop Kansas. And thinking man, he is just playing at his peak performance, and also a boop gotten by the Lucio too. I applaud that.
There was an opportunity for them. If they could have gotten sinks out of it, there would have been no supports on the side of Kansas, and that rest of that group would have folded pretty quickly. Kansas uses 4 ults. St. Louis uses 4 ults, and they come in with the same ult on this next fight. And what I found interesting is Kansas decided to go second there. They did better trades with ults, and they were able to confirm the kills and win the fight.
I wonder if we might actually see a railgun battle here between Wendy's Frosty and Zing. Frosty taking a little bit of damage, manages to heal back up. They're letting UMSL just come onto the point of raiding. There goes the railgun. Zing brings it out in response. Who's gonna win? It's Frosty who gets taken out by Swifty Trick. Zing falls shortly after, however, so I'll call that a draw. Swifty Trick gets eliminated by Swirly Hawk. Now Kansas in great position to just hold this point. Prophet just has to die to get back with the team. So they do not have time that they can waste.
Smart reset, boy. They were trying to prevent Lucio from getting outside there. This is an uncomfortable stagger, but if you lose that fight as the point flips and you get out quick, this is a great point to get out quick because you've got lots of fall opportunities to reset, then you can get 3 fights on this one if you set them up. This is really interesting. No ults on the side of Kansas, no ults on the side of St. Louis, but I think Kansas is going to get 2 real quick here. Specifically Thinking and, of course, Swirly Hawk.
In goes the Ryan, holds up the shield, but it's not focused on the Ryan. It's instead trying to get to the DPS behind, and both of the supports fall almost right away for the Tritons. And with no healing, the rest are not long for this world. A team kill in probably less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, so if you notice that, if we were to watch it back in slow motion, which we're not going to, Swirly Hawk gets in there and gets axe on Big Stain. And great ult right there,
Rampage.
and that will be the final fight.
Just a space denial at the end there.
Yeah, it really was. They didn't get up there in time to touch it. That was a quick win for them. But what I was saying is the whole purpose was to get the axe on the healers. The one that was right out there and Tasty playing really, really close, probably hoping to play the anti against the Queen, was the Ana. Got the slash on that, and then right around, I believe on the other side, I think it was Thinking, dashed through, confirmed that elimination, and got out because it had all other cooldowns. So.
Well, we got 2 victors for tonight, George Fox and Kansas. But before we wrap things up, Doc, do you just have any players you want to shout out, anyone who stood up to you above the rest?
Thinking was really oppressive, for Kansas, and it was fun to watch. The accuracy of Swirly on the Ramatra, with that Void Accelerator was so good. Those are the 2 that pop out to me. I felt bad for Prophet because Prophet was really close to really turning some fights. Got the Lucio super low on second point there, and did some good work on the first point. But the rest of the team just folded so quickly. We just didn't get to see what Prophet could do.
Well, that's going to do it for the 2 Overwatch matches tonight, but stay tuned throughout the week. We got a bunch of fun matches coming up for you, so always stay tuned to this channel to see live esports matches.
You might even see the Broncos tomorrow.
Might even see the Broncos
We
tomorrow.
will.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We of course will. But for now, we hope you get a good night. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
D.Va out of Mech Pilot D.Va. I think the evolved form of D.Va, but in this case, not going to be able to do as much. Probably pretty close to getting back the Mech, but gets dropped in the process there.
Oh, gets the mate.
Bit of flux.
He was in.
Yep. And they can sustain for quite a bit longer.
And then trying to get into the backline to defuse that Zen, but the Orbital Discord placed onto the baby D.Va. But the 2-on-1 will work out in favor of Creighton, but at the front lines, it's been a trade back and forth DPSs for George Fox putting in work.
Org 88 is able to duck down just to find a bit more health. George Fox now has the overclock, so this Sojourn now being boosted as well by the Mercy. Takes out, with the help of GT Flourish, it's going to take out Leonard, Busty Bean, and Wicked Savage.
Yep, and they're going to win this second
Touch
fight.
on it from that Lucio. That's what he tried last time. Perfect
great
knife
knife.
landed. And this Sojourn is down and out for the count. George Fox continues to move on, and this Queen is on a rampage. Now going after that Lucio, who got the touch on to the point. We do see Visor be brought out by Creighton, but I think it's too little, too late to turn a fight like this. His first point.
Swirly Hawk trying to back out and live here. Gets the barrier down. Going to do some damage to the soldier. But Stank goes down, Prophet goes down, Wendy Frosty also eliminated. This is +2 on the side of Kansas. Now it's +3 on the side of Kansas, +4.
Kansas. Photon Barrier is going to be used in response as well as Shatter. Shatter doesn't pick up anybody. Prophet is taken out by the Tritons. And now a whole lot of ultimate sped for UMSL. And Kansas just ready to start their full-on assault.
Oh, it starts with a charge. Doesn't do anything with it. That's 1, 2, 3 of St. Louis, but I think Kansas is going to get 2 real quick here. Specifically thinking, and of course, Swirly Hawk.
In goes the Ryan, holds up the shield, but it's not focused on the Ryan. It's instead trying to get to the DPS behind, and both of the supports fall almost right away for the Tritons. And with